Welcome back to the second week of the Missional Life Practice. Last week we learned that we're going to answer 4 questions during our adventure together. The first, what is God's mission? Second, where is He working? And what types of people are more open to His pursuit? Number 3, how do we actually hear God's voice when He invites us to join Him? And number 4, how can I join this mission? In our last session, we learned more about what is God's mission. God desires that all of the earth will experience His glory, and He wants everyone to know Him personally in a relationship. He uses people in His pursuit of that love relationship with others in a way that is both very real and very personal. And we can all look back at our lives and see how He's done this for us. So imagine what He wants to do through us in His pursuit of others. Over the last week, you've had time to think more about the people that God has used as He pursued a love relationship with you. Take some time at your table and share how you have reached out to some of these people and how it has impacted you this week. Next, over the last week, you've spent time talking to God about what it will take to put your yes on the table and join Him in His mission. Spend some time talking together. What are your biggest excitements? What are your greatest fears or concerns about taking this next step? Last week, we learned that God is keeping the promise He made to Abram centuries ago by constantly pursuing a love relationship with people that is both real and personal. This week, let's dig deeper into how we can actually become involved where He is at work. So here's our second point from experiencing God. To experience God working through you, seek out where He is at work and then join Him in His work. Before we go much further, let's look at a few examples of people that God pursued in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Read the following passages and then quickly answer the questions. Psalms 107 is a beautiful psalm about God's pursuit. And if we read it with God's mission in mind, we'll see ourselves in the different people that He pursued. We've all found ourselves living as wanderers, as prisoners to sin, as foolish, and as just way too busy to pay attention to God's pursuit. Yet God continues to pursue people in each of these places, and many today continue to respond to His pursuit. In verse 4 through 9, we learn about a wanderer who has no clue where to go or what to do in life. In verse 10 through 16, God pursues a prisoner who had pursued his own way in his rebellion. In verse 17 through 22, we learn about a fool who deserves exactly what he is getting. And in 23 through 32, God tells us the story of a businessman or woman who's in the midst of life's storms as he pursues after him. Take a few moments and pause this video and read through Psalms 107 together. As you do, look at the people that God is pursuing, and then look at the way that they respond to His pursuit. God is constantly at work around us, pursuing people. And our job is to look at the places where He is working and join Him in that work. There are so many ways for us to do this. We can join Him in the spiritual battle through our intentional prayer. Our generosity fuels the work being done in difficult places. Our encouragement helps other believers to courageously engage God's mission. Our faithfulness to being an everyday disciple helps us see people and circumstances the way God sees them, so that we can actually act and respond accordingly. All around us are people that God is pursuing. So our job begins with having open eyes to look for where He is at work. Throughout His ministry on earth, Jesus pursued many people. Large crowds would gather around Him and be amazed at His authority. Yet many times in the Gospels, we learn that people heard His teaching and then turned away and followed Him no more. Nevertheless, Jesus kept moving forward in God's mission of redemption so that everyone would have the opportunity to experience His glory. People's openness to God's pursuit often changes with the seasons of life that they're in. And I'm sure each of you have had times in your life where God's desire for your life was far from your mind, but God kept pursuing you. So let's take a few minutes to look at some seasons of life where people may be more open to God's pursuit. And as we do, we'll gain some insight into places God may be working right now so that we can join Him in that work. Let's ask this question together. What types of people are often most open to God's pursuit? Well, whether we realize it or not, sometimes they're the people that are right there closest to us, people in our circle. They could be friends, family members, co-workers, neighbors. Whether we admit it or not, these people are often observing our lives as we live out our life as a daily, everyday disciple. In many ways, they're seeing things in our life that they want for their own lives. So never miss it or take it for granted that those people in your circle are people that God is pursuing. Next are people in times of transition. These include people experiencing new seasons of life, such as transfers, moves, marriage, divorce, new parents, empty nesters. For some reason, as life changes, God's Holy Spirit often opens their hearts to see things differently and increases their desire for His grace. We all know the story of somebody who never attended church, never even really thought it was necessary, but after a move to a new area, became open to joining a small group or becoming involved in a local church. Those people in times of transition may be open as God is pursuing after them to respond to His pursuit. And last are people who are hurting, isolated, or lonely. As Christ followers, we can never underestimate the power of unconditional love and friendship. Our simple commitment to just be a friend often brings intentional and meaningful presence into the ups and downs of another's life. So who do you know that is isolated or lonely. Maybe this is somebody that God is pursuing, that He's asking you to join Him in His work of that pursuit. Take a few minutes and write down the names of at least 3 to 5 people in your circle that God may be pursuing. Friends, family members, relatives. Who do you know who might be going through a time of transition and may be more open to new ideas or relationships? And how are you making time in your life to be an intentional friend to someone who is hurting, isolated, or lonely? How will you do this in the future? It may take a sacrifice, but the invitation to join God's work is worth it. Let's take a few minutes to discuss your answers with your group today. Then write down the names of people in your circle who do not know Jesus. Put it on a Post-it note or a card, and then break up into smaller groups of 2 to 3 and spend some time praying for each other as you seek to join God in His pursuit of these people. Throughout this week, keep this list of names close to you. Pray for them every day. And when God brings one of them to your mind, send them a text or give them a call and invite them for coffee. When God pursued you, He used people to do it. So in His pursuit of others, He will follow the same strategy. Remember, He wants to use you in His pursuit. So be on the lookout for where God may be working this week. Put your yes on the table each and every morning so you're ready to join Him when you see Him working. Now we have an idea of what is God's mission. We know where He might be working. So the next question is, how do we hear His voice? How do we know it's Him when He makes that invitation to join Him? We'll talk about that next week.